So when I was growing up as a kid, I was one of those kids that was just, I bet my parents wanted to just strangle me, strangle me. That was me. I was that kid. No drugs, no alcohol, didn't break any rules, but I was that child who tried to find every button to push and then just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I was one of those practical jokers. I was a practical joker, and I was always looking for a reaction out of somebody. I was that guy who was just looking to get a reaction from people, and it drove my parents crazy, no doubt. But throughout all that, they gave me that unconditional love that I needed. They loved me despite all of the things that I did to them. And for that, I'm grateful. Years later, I've had about 50 kids come through my home, and the same thing. I give each child that unconditional love that they need. Now, with that in mind, there have been some children who have come through my home, and I have thought, oh, what are you doing? You're driving me crazy. People often ask me, hey, you're almost 50 years old, but you look so good. How do you do it? And I say, a lot of surgery and a weave, because I've torn my hair out and I have had just, so many kids. But despite all that, I make sure that every child that comes through my home is loved equally and the same and with all of my heart. Because children in foster care, they need stability, absolutely. They need security, absolutely. But they need one thing more than anything else, something they crave. They just want and they need to be loved. Loved unconditionally, which means you love them despite everything they have done. And I have had some of those children come through my home, and they have pushed my buttons, and they have just torn apart my house. Yet, despite it, my wife and I continue to love them. Children in foster care need your love every single day. They need it every single night. They need it every single week. They need it every single weekend. They need it every single month, and they need it every single year. They are living with your family and living in your home. Foster children crave love. You might be the only person that has given them that unconditional love. And sadly, you might be the only person who will ever love them unconditionally. And that is perhaps the greatest gift you could give a child in foster care. For Foster Care 101, I love you too. I'm Dr. John DeGarmo.